Yo, how's it going, party people? Today we're talking about body dissatisfaction, right? That's when you just really don't like how you look. You look in the mirror and it kind of grosses you out, or you're not happy about it, or you're embarrassed. And I'm really excited to share some stuff with you guys today because I've went through this so many times, right? I used to fucking hate my body. I used to think I was fat. I used to think that I was just kind of like a lazy piece of shit, and that's why I look so bad. And because I look so bad, no woman would ever love me, and I was just, unlovable. I was unlovable. So if you're feeling that way in any degree, trust me, I have some tips for you that have really helped me go from that to now. I feel like I look great in my body. I feel really confident about it. And not only do I feel that way, but also objectively, I'm in the best shape of my life. And I got there without doing all the crazy dieting and workout bullshit that I used to do. So let's dive in. Okay, but really quick, help me spread the word about self-love. Go ahead and click like, click subscribe, click the little ding bell that gives you notifications, because the more you do that, the more that YouTube will recommend this video to other people, and we can help those people on their vision and their quest for self-love as well. Okay, so there's two main ways that you can approach body dissatisfaction. There's the mental side and the physical side. And let me just tell you, the mental side is way more important. So the mental side is like, how do you view yourself? Do you view yourself in a compassionate way, or do you view yourself in a way where you're like, just kind of hating yourself and how you look? And I used to hate myself and how I looked, and so my fuel for self-transformation was self-hatred. And the thing is, self-hatred is a very brittle and not good form of energy. It has a lot of negative and toxic byproducts. Sure, I worked out for hours and hours, and I almost starved myself, but the thing is, your body doesn't really work that way. Your body likes consistent, gradual effort. And with self-criticism as your fuel, or self-hatred, what happens is anytime you end up failing, which you're gonna do, that's like the nature of the fucking game, you beat yourself up so much that you just take 10 steps backwards. For me, it was binge eating. I would do everything to a T, weigh every gram of food, and then I would end up binge eating and lose all the progress and then hate myself even more. So you gotta get this stuff right, or the physical stuff won't really matter as much. There are some physical things you can do today. Stick around, I'll get to that. But know that you need to develop a mindset of self-compassion and have self-love as your fuel on this journey, or else you're just never gonna make it, right? And I'm gonna give you some tips here. But one more note about this is that you could look like The Rock, you could look like a Playboy model, you could look like whoever you aspire to be. But the thing is, if you don't have your head right, you will still view yourself as, not good. There's so many actors and bodybuilders and models. It's so common, it's almost a stereotype where it's like you look amazing, but you feel terrible about yourself on the inside. And not like a self-esteem thing, you just feel like you look terrible. It's called body dysmorphia. It's really common, especially if people have anorexia or some bodybuilders that like can't stop using steroids. And so just trust me, you gotta get the mental stuff right for the physical stuff to really work, but you should do both of them. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did. All of this is stuff that I did that worked for me. I would never recommend you do. Okay, like we said, self-compassion is fucking key, because self-compassion is going to keep you going when times are tough, right? So what is self-compassion? What does that even mean? Well, according to Kristen Neff, and she literally wrote the book on self-compassion, there's 3 aspects to it. Number 1 is kindness. And self-kindness or self-love, it basically means treating yourself how you would want to treat a friend that you have nothing but good feelings for, right? And if they fucked up, you probably wouldn't be like, oh, you're such a lazy piece of shit. You would probably be like, hey, it's okay. Maybe try something different. You'll do better next time. Something like that. And that manifests itself not only in your actions, like taking care of yourself, but also in your inner dialogue. And that's one of the first places we can start. All right, guys, I had to move inside. It was literally so cold that my phone just froze up and died. Let's continue here in the quarantine basement. Okay, so the second component of self-compassion is that you have to be mindful and aware of your thoughts and emotional states. because that way you can detect when you're in need of some self-soothing, some self-love. And you're aware of when you're criticizing yourself, which means that then you can give yourself an opportunity to practice self-compassion. So awareness is the second part there. And the third part is recognition of our shared humanity. And think of it like this. When you're suffering and when you're beating yourself up, there's kind of this almost subtle arrogance that goes with that, where it's like, oh, like I'm the worst person in the world, like I'm so shitty, nobody could understand my problems because they're so bad. And it's usually not conscious. It's usually just like we feel alone, we feel isolated and kind of like cut off from other people. And so the third part of self-compassion is recognizing that we all suffer. As human beings, we all want to be happy and we all suffer. And anything you're going through, somebody else is going through that right now. There's over 7 billion people on this planet. Somebody else is going through it. And so when you recognize that, like, hey, I'm having a tough day, but I bet you a lot of other people are. That gives you so much more ability to be like, hey, it's okay. I want that other person to feel better, and I want you to feel better too. Okay, so let's move into tactics, right? This tactic is an inner dialogue exercise, and this is what I use more than anything else. I still use this to this day when it comes to like, what's a nitty-gritty thing you can do right now? And what this involves is basically choosing to intentionally create a positive inner dialogue for yourself, okay? So we're gonna act this out. We're gonna have the bad guy in the sunglasses and the good guy with the cool hat, all right? So let's do this. God, I look so fucking fat in the mirror. I just feel like a fat, lazy piece of shit. Hey, I just want you to know that I love you no matter what. I understand that. No, I feel you. What would make you feel better right now? I don't know. Maybe we could eat something healthy. I'm just so tired of feeling overweight and chubby all the time. I feel like it's completely my fault. All right, let's try it out. Okay, I hope that little skit was instructive. That's literally what happens. Like if I notice myself having a thought like, I did so terribly today, or like, oh, I feel so. Okay, I hope that little skit was instructive. That's literally what happens. Like if I notice myself having a thought like, I did so terribly today, or like, oh, I feel so tired. You just try to engage yourself, and it's not like you're going crazy. The human psyche is composed of a bunch of different components. You could almost think it as if you have a bunch of different selves. The movie Inside Out was a really good representation of this. That was very accurate. And so there's all these different parts of you that are vying for control, like the critic, or your inner child, which I know that sounds frou-frou. That's basically the part of you that created the inner critic and is being criticized by it. And that's a childhood thing, right? And so what we're doing as the conscious awareness that you can control is we're facilitating a better dialogue between these different parts of ourselves so that we can all move forward together. And this is something that I've applied with anxiety. And if you want to dive deeper into this, go check out, there's a link in the description, I'll put a card here, how to stop intrusive thoughts, because that's gonna really dive into that inner dialogue stuff. Okay, so that's like the tactical thing that you can do right now and keep doing it. But in the long run, there's also some other stuff you want to do. You're probably going to want to either continue therapy or start therapy. I did therapy for about 1.5 years, and it was the best investment of time I've probably ever made. Other than the second thing, which is investing your time into a meditation practice. I specifically had a lot of trouble with being present and following the breath, but I found that loving kindness meditation, and I have plenty of free links for that in the description, so go check those out. It's just like the best way. You're literally cultivating feelings of self-love, and it works really well. It's been transformative for me, and I don't say that lightly. So those are the 2 long-term things you want to do. Okay, I have 4 pieces of advice that have worked really well for me and are gonna help you not only feel better about your body, but also just objectively be healthier and look healthier, which most people would equate as looking better, okay? So the first thing, and if you have a little bit of money to spend, such a good investment, go check out Precision Nutrition. That's precisionnutrition.com, and they have coaching. It's a year-long coaching program, costs $97 a month. I'm about 9 months into it, and I've lost like at least 15 pounds of pure fat. My scale weight is about 24 pounds off when I started, and you'll see a picture right here. I'll post that, but it's just been, they incorporate all of the mindfulness, all of the self-care principles that you want, and they give it to you where you don't have to think about it. You just do your lessons, you listen to your coach, and it goes so well. Like, before I was always trying to diet and I was trying to like exercise really hardcore, and it never worked for me. But with this, it's a much more gradual, it's step by step, and it helps you to just have a more realistic way of living. And I've also getting amazing results. Like, I'm in the best shape of my life, pretty much by far, and I haven't felt like I've been dieting at all. It's just been like the pounds are just kind of coming off. And if anything, I feel like I enjoy food more now than I used to. So go check out Precision Nutrition. That's the first step. Okay, number 2 is more for the guys out there. I hate to say it, but usually the ladies are better at this kind of stuff. So the number 2 thing, and this is one thing you can do right now, maybe not literally right now because we're in a quarantine, but you could at least start looking stuff up, is to find a haircut and a way of styling your facial hair that looks good for your face type. So there's different types of faces, right? And they have different proportions to them. And I'm not a fashion expert, but I know that for my face type, and you can look this up online, just search Google for how to figure out your face type, they'll give you recommended hairstyles. So search for like recommended hairstyles according to my face type men. That's what I did. And I found that for my face type, what's important for me is to get my hair off my forehead. It just looks way better. And so before I just had all my hair down here and it didn't look as good. And another thing is I just look way better clean shaven. And that's something that I just had to get a lot of feedback from friends and family. They made fun of me, it was fine. But also basically just looking at pictures of myself, and I invested in like a nice safety razor and shaving kit, and I really enjoy shaving and it looks great, okay? So invest in like knowing a good barber, buy some hair product if you do a style. You can always do the classic slicked back. I use Lay Right pomade. And again, like, I'm not a fashion expert, but this is the fastest thing you can do. Just be like, wow, I look better. Again, especially for guys, go to if you are just like, hey, I can't figure any of this out, once the quarantine ends, go to a barber or a stylist that's really good and say, hey, I don't know what to do for like my face shape, like what should I do? But I honestly think that most barbers and hairdressers only do a good job if you tell them exactly what to do. So yeah, go ahead and look up the face types and just getting good haircuts and continually investing in them. Don't let them get scruffy. Get them at least once a month. It's gonna make you look and feel so much better. Seriously, guys, I highly recommend this. Okay, and the next one up for that, this is your third tip, find clothes that fit you. I used to dress, and this is true of so many American men, we dress like shit. Our clothes don't fit us, they're super baggy, they don't fit our body well. Now, you don't want it to be too tight, right? You don't have to be like an Under Armour wearing person when it's just a normal shirt and it's just way too tight. That's a terrible look. But you don't want it to be too baggy either. And so I've gotten all of my clothes tailored to some degree or another. Even this t-shirt, you see how it kind of hugs the bicep? It's not too tight, but it's not like this big loose thing. When you have really loose sleeves, it makes your arms look small. It makes you look weaker and smaller. You don't feel as good. And so I got my sleeves tailored. It cost like $10 for, I don't know, all of my t-shirts to get done. And it was such a good investment. Again, I'm not a fashion expert, but one person who is, and they're a little bit more formal. The guy's a little bit older than me. I'm 28. Go to Real Men, Real Style. Again, I'll put the link in the description, maybe put a card on here. And he has a lot of really good style advice. He's a little bit more conservative. It's not like streetwear or whatever, but invest in good fashion. Just like a pair of jeans that fit you well, a t-shirt that fits you well. This is a Uniqlo t-shirt, man. This costs $10. You don't have to spend a lot of money. My jeans are bonobos. I spent a little bit more on those. They were like $50. maybe a little bit more than that, probably closer to 80, depending on your sale. And I'm going on and on about this, but like just get a couple, start with one outfit, one outfit that you really like, one t-shirt that fits well. And again, guys, this is something that is really fast, and don't wait until you're in better shape to buy new clothes. I used to do that. Buy clothes that fit you for where you are right now, and then you can always buy new ones later. Like my jeans, they don't fit anymore without a belt because I've lost so much weight. And that's a good feeling. It's a good problem to have. All right, this video is getting kind of long, so final piece of advice on the physical side. Build a self-care movement habit, okay? And this is different from working out. Working out is always like, oh, you gotta build muscle or burn calories, and it's always supposed to be intense and CrossFit and this and that. And like, don't get me wrong, I think CrossFit's great. I think intense workout's great. But only if you're in the right mind state for that, right? I used to do a lot of really intense workouts. You know, I did high school football, and that intensity carried over, and I always would try to kill myself in the gym. And here's the thing, that eventually just makes you hate going to the gym. And if you've never been much of a gym rat to begin with, it's just gonna be really intimidating. So instead, start out with something really small, like walking 2 or 3 minutes a day, literally 2 or 3 minutes, meditating for 30 seconds a day. Not movement, but it's fine. It's still self-care. Doing yoga, doing an at-home yoga routine right now, since we're all fucking stuck at home, this quarantine shit. Do something like that, and the key mindset is you're not doing this to make yourself better. You're doing this because you love yourself, and you want to do something that's healthy and giving to yourself. You're giving a gift to yourself. And think about it this way, like when you get a gift from somebody that you like, even if it's a small gift, you're really happy. You're like, oh my gosh, you thought of me. And you're not upset that they didn't give you a bigger gift, unless you're just a raging asshole, right? And so when you give yourself a gift, it kind of relieves some of that pressure to be like the ultimate champion or work out really hardcore or whatever the fuck, right? It's just like, oh, I gave myself the gift of exercise today, and my body feels better for it. And then it's gonna make you healthier, and all the good shit's gonna happen from there. So really, the mental and the physical, they all blend together. But just to reiterate to you guys, this is going to be a step-by-step journey. Read that self-compassion book. Realize that you're in this with me. There's a lot of other people just like you. You're not alone if you have body dissatisfaction, if you don't like how you look. And trust me, I'm speaking from personal experience. I used to fucking hate how I look, and now I really do feel way more confident. It's a combination of all the stuff we talked about. I like my hair. I like how my face looks. And I'm wearing clothes that fit me. Those things make a big difference. But also, more importantly, I view myself with self-compassion now. And I'm not perfect, I'm not a saint, but you can do this too. There's nothing special about me that made me some self-compassion guru. It just comes from meditating, doing therapy, and trying to live out those principles in the books I've recommended. All right, guys, if you're still watching, go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of this video. Was it shitty? Was it amazing? Do you have any questions about things I said, things you disagree with, or topics you want me to cover in the next videos? Let me know. I'm here for you. I promise to reply to anything and everything you post. Peace.